Hey everybody, welcome to What's Up Wednesday. I want to do an update this week on a new rule passed in December by OSHA. So December 11th, OSHA announced formally that beginning this month, January of 2025, that the construction industry will need to consider body type when providing personal protective equipment. Now, this has been a general industry standard for a period of time, but OSHA formalized this and has now mandated that employers fit the personal protective equipment and clothing to the worker specifically. And I think this is really important. Now, going back many years, I used to work in the PPE industry. I sold equipment for a distributor, and I dealt with the issue of fitting PPE to the person many, many times, which I'll give a couple examples of. But, just a quick summary of this update. Again, December 11th was the date. If any of you need the document, I do want to give a shout out to Corey Grimmer, who's a former staff member here at ISS. He sent out a bulletin and provided this information to me. I was unaware before I received that information from him, but there's, I believe, a 79-page OSHA release on this topic that I'm happy to share with you via email. So just drop a note at info@iss-safe.com and we'll send it to you. So a little background here. It's obvious that proper fit of PPE is critical in order for it to be effective. And again, there are a lot of really good examples of what improper fit looks like, which we're going to talk about here a little bit more. But here's some key considerations. Number one, as the employer, we have to assess the PPE needs of each individual employee. To me, that might look like an intake form when we bring them on board. And maybe if we're sophisticated, we've specified these 3 safety glasses, these 3 or 5 gloves for different types of exposures, this fall protection, and here are the different models of harnesses that we provide. Whatever that looks like, more sophisticated companies have specifications in place that everybody needs to follow. So what we can do, much like if we're fitting a respirator, is we indicate which manufacturer, which model number, and which size we're putting on that person. And maybe we do that at orientation. Be a really easy thing to add to the orientation onboarding process. Say, this person wears this UVEC safety glass or this whatever brand, hearing protection, whatever it might be. But ultimately, it's really important that we assess the worker and we fit the equipment to that worker. One of the biggest challenges that I had, and I was asked to try to solve this problem over and over again, was in a manufacturing process where there was a very prominent Asian population. The challenge that we had was safety glasses that wouldn't slip down the nose, because a lot of times the nose bridge is a little bit less prominent, and we had to find solutions that would provide safety glasses that would stay on, that were comfortable, and that provided the level of protection we needed. And, I effectively worked with a lot of different manufacturers to be able to solve that issue over time. So the first thing is assess the fit for each individual worker and document it. The second is provide gender-specific options. So a good example of this, again, I dealt with this a lot, is many of the fall protection harnesses that we have out in the field are an H style. So they have a shoulder strap that comes down with a chest strap that comes across. That may not be the best fit style for a female. A crossover style where it crosses like an X might be a better fit for a female. So again, you need to assess that, determine what your specification is, and build that into your inventory of equipment. Fall protection, just an example, specifically, for women. Inspect PPE fit and functionality. We can do this a lot of ways. We're obviously going to do it when we issue the PPE and we tell that worker which glass, which harness, which glove that they're going to wear in what size. But we can also assess it by observation when we're out in the field, when we're walking around, we're on the manufacturing floor, something that we need to consistently do on a regular basis. We also need to document our compliance efforts and maintain records. So, part of our PPE program, and this is a great opportunity to update your written personal protective equipment policy and program, but make sure there's something in your program that demonstrates or documents how you actually assess fit, and then how you ensure that people are using the equipment that they need to be to properly protect them. And then finally, ensure inclusivity and accessibility, which means make sure that you have plenty of options to fit pretty much any worker, and make sure they have access to that equipment. Make sure you have inventory of it, whatever that might look like. There are a lot of different ways to manage inventories, but I think a lot of what drove this was that for many years, women in the construction industry have been ignored. The PPE manufacturers focused on the 99, 95 percentile, whatever it is, male dominated industry, and they focused on equipment that were tailored more to males. And now, we're in a situation where we need to address the entire population, both age, gender, gender, sex, and nationality. Those are all, I think, key things that we need to concentrate on when we're choosing what equipment we provide. So looking forward, this rule is in effect now. It's something we need to start doing yesterday. It's right. I'm filming this here. We're, mid-January almost, but it's something that we need to put into place right now. And it's something that we need to make sure that's effective. So once we implement the program, once we've trained our people, we need to be auditing it, making sure that our program is working. So hopefully you find that helpful. Again, if you want a copy of the OSHA release, I'm happy to send that to you. Just drop us a note. We'll see you next Wednesday.